Pineda. I'm an intern for Urban Alliance on behalf of Warner Film Fest, and today we are here with Isaac Vergun, and he actually is one of the plaintiffs from the film UV Gov, and we're excited to have you here. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Really tired. Spending a lot of hours at the midnight hours trying to do homework and stuff. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently the UV gun film, it follows youth pursuing the federal government because it's not taking action to stop climate change. And you, as being one of the plaintiffs, we're being threatened by climate change in many different ways. How have you been affected personally through climate change?
So what the biggest reason why I joined the lawsuit was because of the harms that climate change does to me personally. I have asthma. I'm one of 1 million to 3 million kids diagnosed with asthma in the United States right now. And the wildfire smoke from wildfires in the Portland or Oregon's Columbia River Gorge, and Central Oregon and Northern California wildfires affect the air quality where I live in Beaverton. The particulate matter floats up into the stratosphere and then kind of follows the air currents from Northern California, skips over Central Oregon, Southern Oregon, then dumps into the Portland area and the Tualatin Valley, which is where I live. And so the first time when climate change really affected me, not like it's an impending thing that could affect me, was the day of my friend's bar mitzvah in 2013. It was summertime, and I was super excited to go to his bar mitzvah. And I opened my blind to my room to let in some natural light in on a beautiful Saturday morning. And the sky is just bright, bright orange. And I was just completely confused. I was like, "Oh, that's weird. It's kind of pretty. So I'm gonna go outside and see what that's all about." So I go outside and I take a deep breath in, and I start coughing like crazy. I had to go back inside and use my rescue inhaler a few times and just gulp down some water because the wildfire smoke from the Columbia River and around the Mount Hood area in Portland flew over into the valley where I live. And that was right after actually I signed on to the lawsuit or agreed to do it. And so that was really eye-opening for me because a lot of people think that climate change is something that is far off or that they won't be affected by it because they live in too nice of an area or X, Y, Z reasons, whatever that makes them think that, but it will sneak up on you a lot faster than you think and affect the tiny things and big things in your life that you didn't think that would change.
Something like that. And going probably further, with the new administration, how do you expect the lawsuit to change in the path? We're not giving any spoilers for people who haven't watched the film yet, but we've clearly seen how the federal government reacts to people fighting for climate change. So how do you have any hopes for the new administration currently?
So I don't know, honestly. I'm pretty neutral as to how the Biden administration is gonna treat our lawsuit. We've been trying to knock on their door and get them to pay some attention to this and to finally like push this lawsuit forward so that we can get towards settlement. But it's kind of been unresponsive on the Biden administration's part. But on beginning of this month, on March, we filed a motion in the courts to amend our complaint against the federal government and to adjust our remedy that we're seeking as part of this in response to them sending back a decision back in early February saying that they, in a 2-1, or the rest of the bench of the Ninth Circuit ruled in that we couldn't proceed to trial. So we just filed a motion to amend our complaint so that they can see it again and hopefully get the ball rolling again. So maybe we'll see some more action on the Biden administration's part. We're trying to have them endorse our lawsuit and kind of fast track it so we could get to settlement and maybe trial. So that's what I'm looking forward to, hopefully, but I don't know if I expect that out of them.
So currently that we continue fighting. On a more personal, I'm probably sure most people have seen the film already, and we mostly see predominantly a non-people of color group, and there's not a lot of people of color within the film. How do you feel with representation, knowing that climate change isn't just affecting white people, but it's affecting people of color just as much, if not more?
It's honestly, it's kind of what I expected, because as people of color, we've got a lot more social fights that we need to spread our energy and time with. And so not seeing a lot of people of color, or specifically Black people, in my experience, is something that I've kind of just noticed overall. Ever since I was young, starting out with my climate activism stuff at 11, even more so now, but not as much as I would like to now either. Um, it's kind of weird, honestly, because you could see the subtle microaggressions that when you work within these organizations. Um, like, I'm not gonna name drop or anything, but like during my time working for 350 and stuff, or volunteering for them, not really working for them, and same with volunteering for Sierra Club, there's just be instances where there was some pretty blatant ignorance um, amongst the volunteer leaders, um, as to what they think I could do, or the Black perspective of the climate crisis. Um, and so that was kind of disheartening. But I guess just as the years have progressed and I've also gotten older, there's more Black youth and people of color youth that are doing this climate activism stuff. And so I'm very hopeful as to what the future of the next climate activists are going to look like, because it's definitely going to be a lot more diverse than the people I was working with before, the older generations. No offense, but
I think we can all agree that by going through with watching this film, youth can actually help change the path, of course, of climate change.
yes.
On a more happier note, do you know any updates in terms of what's happening with the lawsuit now? I'm pretty sure you mentioned previously.
Yeah. We so we, like I said, on the 9th of March, we filed to amend our complaint, so that we can fast track this lawsuit and kind of get it back on track. We've had a lot of stalls in the way. We were supposed to originally go to trial October 29th of 2018. That's nearly 3.5 years ago. We're still going at it, going strong. But yeah, so we like I said before, we filed in at the beginning of March 9th, our motion to amend our complaint. On February 10th of this year, the Ninth Circuit failed to correct the legal errors in the panel decision done back in 2020. That was the panel decision that wasn't in our favor, to proceed our case going to trial, because we were in the Ninth Circuit. A judge requested a vote onto whether to rehear our case, but most of the judges declined to do so, which was pretty disheartening. Our attorneys are taking the case to the Supreme Court, and have asked, like I said, the Biden Harris and the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris White House to discuss settlement options, so that we can kind of put a halt in our immediate harms. Because, like I said, my harm is asthma. Some people's on the lawsuits, or some of the plaintiffs on the lawsuits harms are like recreational things, like lack of skiing, and then Levi, for instance, risking his home being flooded. So like there's immediate dangers that will be a consequence of climate change and the climate crisis. And so if there's any sort of way that we can just stop them temporarily for now until we can get the ball rolling the rest of the way, that's kind of what we're like at right now. That's the stage and phase that we're at right now.
Do like regular people like me or anyone within our age range, how can we help? It's not just like all the older generation helping. Like, what can we do to help?
No, yeah, there's so much stuff that we can do to help. Like compared to, I mean, I'm 18 now, about to turn 19. So from when I was below 18, I voted with my dollar. I didn't really buy fast fashion or anything. I know it's kind of a trendy thing to thrift now, so that's cool and stuff, but has some downsides too because it makes things more expensive for people who need it. But I mean, there's give and takes and stuff. We could also go to like lobby days. There's youth lobby days in Oregon that I know of that I've participated in. You could start lobby days for your local governments or state governments. Just like asking for some more climate-based policies or for them to consider the ramifications of their bills towards the climate crisis. Just any sort of lobbying to make sure that they know that the youth are watching and paying attention and care about how the future pans out for us. Those are the two major things. Always like reposting on social media, climate actions, signing petitions, attending Zooms if you want to seek more information, joining your local Sunrise chapter. Sunrise Movement is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is geared towards youth fighting for climate change policies. So that's a good organization too. Just involving yourself in any sort of way, big or small. Like I've made a big time commitment, but I'm not asking everyone to do that either. Just always supporting and reposting is just as good in some cases.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing Isaac to stay here with us. We were honored to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Okay. Keep us posted, all right?
Of course. Thank you.